Here are the pros and cons of living in Buford, Georgia. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Victor. I'm a local real estate agent here in Georgia, and I put out weekly videos all about what it's like to live in Atlanta and the surrounding cities. We talk about the homes in Atlanta, the schools. We talk about what it's like to live in Atlanta, Georgia. And in this video, we're talking about the pros and cons of living in Buford, Georgia. No question that one of the best parts about living in Buford is the cost of the homes in Buford, Georgia. The average home value in Buford is $355,000, so it's very common to find a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot home for $355,000. There are not really a whole lot of places in Metro Atlanta where you can find home prices like that. Take, for example, neighboring Suwanee, Georgia, and the average home value is $545,000, or Marietta, Georgia, where the average home value is $445,000. Without a doubt, the cost of living in Buford is certainly one of the highlights of living in Buford, Georgia. Something important to note here, though, is that as the city of Atlanta grows and the metro area of Atlanta grows, and as home prices continue to increase year after year, more and more people are kind of moving to the outskirts of Metro Atlanta. So cities like Woodstock, Georgia, or Cumming, Georgia, or in this case, Buford, Georgia. So these are really the cities that are becoming more and more popular and the cities where a lot of people are moving to, but home prices there are still very affordable. Another benefit of living in Buford, Georgia is the school districts. Of course, if you're thinking about moving to Buford or any of the suburbs around Atlanta, feel free to call or text or email me anytime. Thank you so much to everyone who has reached out. I'm always happy to help. But Buford, Georgia is in Gwinnett County, and some other cities that are in Gwinnett County are Duluth, Georgia, also Suwanee and Lawrenceville. And these cities, this part of Metro Atlanta, which is Gwinnett County, is known for having some of the best schools in all of Metro Atlanta, and this certainly goes for the city of Buford. Some examples of schools in Buford, Georgia are Ivy Creek Elementary School, which is a 9 out of 10, Buford Middle School, which is a 9 out of 10, and Buford High School, which is an 8 out of 10. I know many of the cities that I talk about on this channel have similar school ratings, 9s and 8s and sometimes 10s, and these are really the cities that I try to highlight. But keep in mind that not all of the cities of Metro Atlanta have such good school ratings. Certain parts of Metro Atlanta have school ratings that are well below 6 out of 10, closer to 4 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. So having a city like Buford that has 9 out of 10 schools is certainly a highlight for living there. Another huge benefit of living in the city of Buford is Lake Lanier. Lake Lanier is right next to the city of Buford, and Lake Lanier is one of the largest, if not the largest lake in all of Georgia. It covers about 38,000 acres, and it's very common to find people there fishing, swimming, boating. It is a very popular outdoor activity for many of the people who live in Georgia. In fact, keep in mind that Georgia does not really have a whole lot of coastline. So we do have some coastline in the city of Savannah, but the beaches there in Savannah are not very good. So we don't have a lot of those kinds of beach areas like you would find in Florida or in South Carolina. So people in Georgia really are attracted a lot more to the lake kind of outdoor activities. The lake life is far more popular than the beach life here in Georgia, with lakes like Lake Allatoona and Lake Lanier. There's no question that being close to a lake is really one of the best parts about living in Buford, Georgia. Another benefit of living in Buford, Georgia is the amount of things that there are to do there. You wouldn't think that there are so many things to do in the city of Buford with it being such a small town, but in fact, the Mall of Georgia, which is in Buford, is the largest mall in all of Georgia. So certainly lots of things to do there. In addition to that, Buford has the downtown Buford area. Many of the cities that we talk about on this channel have like a kind of city center or a downtown area, and Buford has one of those kind of downtown areas as well. Now, keep in mind that Buford downtown area is kind of a historic feeling downtown area, but it's certainly a great place to spend time and hang out. If you're ever visiting Buford, Georgia, you certainly want to check out downtown Buford. Okay, now let's talk about the downsides of living in Buford, Georgia. One of the downsides is that Buford is kind of far from the city of Atlanta. Like, it's not just on the outskirts of Metro Atlanta, it's way out there. So to get to the city of Atlanta from Buford may be about an hour commute, and it could be worse if there's rush hour traffic. So if you're living in Buford, Georgia, and you're working in, say, downtown Atlanta, that commute during rush hour traffic would be terrible, and there would be a lot of traffic on Interstate 85 on the way to Atlanta. Or if you wanted to experience any of the things there in Atlanta and you lived in Buford, again, that would be a long drive for things like sports events or for going to the Georgia Aquarium or the numerous amount of things that you can find in the city of Atlanta. Again, that would be a really long drive from Buford. Now, keep in mind that many of the suburbs around Atlanta, including Buford, tend to have everything that you need within those cities. So you don't need to go to Atlanta to go grocery shopping, or you don't need to go to Atlanta for, I don't know, like daily activities for a post office or for a courthouse or whatever it may be that is necessary. If you live in the city of Buford, you can typically find all of those things within Buford or very close to the city of Buford. It's not necessary to drive to Atlanta for anything. Another downside about living in Buford, Georgia is the lack of diversity in Buford. Now, I'm always kind of hesitant to talk about ethnicities and races on this channel because it's certainly a hot button topic for a lot of people, but it's something to think about if you're thinking about moving to Buford. According to Wikipedia, the ethnic breakdown of the city of Buford is about 50% white, 25% Hispanic, and about 15% African American, which leaves about 10% for multiple races or other ethnicities. So that may sound like it's a pretty good mix, but there are certainly other suburbs around Atlanta that are more diverse. So if living in an area where there's plenty of racial diversity is important to you, you might want to reconsider. Buford is not one of the most diverse suburbs when it comes to racial diversity in Metro Atlanta. And then another downside about living in Buford, Georgia, is that it's kind of an older city. It's not a new city like Alpharetta where there's new construction all the time. You know, the shopping areas, the commercial areas, the homes seem to all be built within the last 10 to 20 years. Buford is not like that. Buford is a much older city, which you can certainly see in the downtown area. You can certainly see it in the homes in Buford. So there may be some new construction here and there in the city of Buford. It's just not very common. Buford is, you know, it has a historic feel to it. It has that historic charm. You know, when you're walking through downtown Buford, you certainly feel the age of those buildings there in downtown Buford. So if you're looking to live in an area with new homes and new commercial areas, Buford doesn't really fit that criteria. And then another downside about living in Buford, Georgia, is that there's not a lot of job opportunities there in Buford. Again, Buford is quite a ways away from the city of Atlanta, and Buford is kind of a small town. It's not as big of a city as Roswell or Marietta. So there's not a whole lot of job opportunities there in Buford. If you want to know more about the best suburbs in all of Metro Atlanta, check out this video. I'll see you there.